Well, what I'm intending to do here is just to give you an overview of my life when I became an elder and what I experienced thereafter. This isn't meant to be my full life memoirs or anything like that, but just something just to give you a little bit of an overview and an insight into my life. I hope it's of use to you.
One thing I was told, and we were told quite constantly in elders meetings and as elders, was that in our talks, not necessarily public talks, but in the talks or items that we gave from the platform, always to focus in on the ministry. Everything went down to door knocking. And I wonder if you'll notice that when you listen to the elders, and perhaps even the ministerial serpents as well, when they give their talks, all focus is down on the ministry. Everything has to go back to door knocking. Do more. And I don't know whether you noticed, if any of you are still fading, if you saw the day's text today, I just saw a snippet of it, because I don't really see it. I just see it's left out on a table. And of course, as a mentally diseased apostate, I don't bother with it, but certain members of the family do. It was the last comment, I think, that said, maintain your sense of urgency. Where is Armageddon? Where is it? Planning for the circuit overseer's visit as an elder was almost like planning a concert for a rock star. We'd have an elders meeting, and to be honest with you, the presiding overseer, as was in those days, had already worked out exactly what they wanted to do. So we'd have a situation where we'd just be left with all the little bits around the corner and the edges, i.e. who was going to work with the cow, circuit overseer's wife, who was going to work with the CO, who was going to work with that snivelling, nasty man. So that was what we were left with. And you get volunteers. We'd be asking in the groups for volunteers, and you'd see how people would almost treat the circuit overseer, this this paid labourer. I don't know, how do you describe him? He was given rock star status anyway, that's all I can really say. And he didn't work for anything. I don't know any circuit overseers that actually did any work. Do you know any? They're like paid clergy, and yet these are the people that are going and saying that the Catholics are wicked people because, you know, their clergy are paid and they don't do any proper work. Circuit overseers and all these other overseers are exactly the same. We had a presiding overseer who doubled as a circuit overseer, a temporary circuit overseer. And this guy, he was a very lazy man. All the jobs that he wanted to do, he'd dump on other people. I had some of his privileges dumped on me. I didn't realise it at the time. I just thought it was these privileges that, you know, he should be doing that were dumped on me, and he let me do the whole lot. I had to work out the service meeting, as was in those days, and that was his job. And I was given a kind of an unwritten list of brothers who couldn't do certain items because one elder had a problem with the hand shandy, and he wasn't allowed to give certain talks because he had a little bit of a masturbation thing that had allegedly gone on and wasn't going on anymore, and he'd got help for it. Anyway, I don't really care about that. If he if he whacks off, that's up to him. I don't care. But the presiding overseer did. I had to do all the public talks, arrange for those to come in, and arrange for our speakers to go out. one of the things that the body of elders had decided before I joined was that we would not have any speakers come in who had beards for whatever reason whatsoever. So that's just a little pointer there of the cult control. And so this guy who did temporary circuit work, he was lazy. What I found amazing with him was he would never have anybody around for hospitality. Never. He just wouldn't do it. Him and his wife would never have anybody around for hospitality. If they did, it was extremely unusual, and if they did, it was because it was perhaps a circuit overseer or a brother that he could get some kind of cushy job from, or get some kind of privilege where he got the glory from. And he used to be like that. All the good jobs that would give him the glory, he'd take those ones. He used to enjoy going up on the platform and making these important announcements. One brother one brother did say that he'd goose step to the platform, and he would do, he'd goose step. It was like he was doing a Nazi goose step to the platform. Then he'd stand on the platform with his nose in the air and say, so-and-so is no longer a Jehovah's Witness. He'd look all pious, turn round and then goose step off the platform again. When it came to ministry, this brother, who was a temporary circuit overseer, presiding overseer, when it came to ministry, he'd lead the group out, he'd perhaps ask some weirdo questions before he went out, just to prove that he was better than other people. And then we wouldn't see him again. He'd go out to the territory and we wouldn't see him again. I still don't know where he went to. He was pioneering. Still don't know where he went to this day. But I know he wasn't door knocking. What I've learnt is that every congregation has its own personality, probably because it has its own body of elders. And although there are guidelines set down, perhaps in the flock book or in letters that are sent secretly to the elders from Bethel, it would appear that each body of elders just does their own thing. And I've noticed it always depends on who the biggest bully in the body of elders is. Usually the presiding overseer could be quite a big bully, and he'll get his own way in things. How are men appointed? Well, obviously by Holy Spirit. Well, that's what they'd have you believe anyway. Holy Spirit's a very funny thing, because it's more interested in what's on your report slip and what kind of a person you are. There was one brother who didn't attend meetings much, but then he got friends with the presiding overseer. And once he got friends with the presiding overseer, he started coming to the meetings, and you'd see he was given microphone privileges and various different privileges. And he ended up on the book counter and doing all various different things and being invited to the assemblies to do demonstrations. And I believe that it was just because he was friends of the presiding overseer, nothing to do with his spiritual trademark qualifications. It was because he was mates of the presiding overseer. Now, surprise, surprise, he's an elder in the congregation. You know what? I wouldn't give you twopence for the bloke.